Hey Deku Fam!
Hey Deku Fam!
Welcome back to our channel!
Welcome back!
So we're back with another video and we're doing this marriage is overrated series.
And we're not actually saying marriage is overrated, we're just saying that marriage should not be considered a better season necessarily than your single season. Your single season is just as important as your marriage season, but sometimes people feel like they're less off because they're single. When singlehood is a preparation for your marriage season, if you have the desire to get married.
100%. And I was thinking, like, obviously it's February, it's the month of love, everyone's talking about relationships, but we were like, let's encourage our single brothers and sisters that marriage is overrated. So we've done 3 parts, and this is the final part where we're doing a Q&A.
So we put out some questions on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and you guys have come back with some questions. So we're going to do our best to answer those questions.
Yes, we are. So let's get into the video. But before that, actually, you guys need to be following us on social media in general. Like, it's just not all about,
you guys know we just came out from South Africa. We just came out from Texas. There will be some vlogs coming out soon. But guys, you can be following us along the journey. Real time.
We actually share on our Instagram story. And we're like taking you on the journey. We've got a Facebook group where we've been sharing pictures. You know, we've got Twitter at last.
We finally got Twitter.
Help us, Jesus. Because
we need to be able to condense what we're saying into like that 140 characters.
But follow us, tag us, you know, share your favorite lines, share your videos, all this stuff. This is the year of domination.
We're growing. Gabes and Nana are conquering the world.
We are going viral again. But anyway, subscribe to our channel and let's get into the questions. Okay, first question. What are the vital questions that a single person should ask before even considering dating? Lovely.
Yeah, this is all over Anna's Instagram. So guys, if you want to go more in depth, just read the Instagram caption.
It's all about being self-reflective. I think it's important that you're saying, what questions do I need to be asking myself before I get into a relationship? You don't just roll into it, do you know what I mean? Like, you don't just roll into a relationship.
So that's the question. So what would you say?
I would say, am I whole? Do I love myself? You know, am I complete within myself?
So it's basically trying to understand the reason why you're going into a relationship. Are you having that expectation that someone's going to come and fulfill your every need? 100%. If that's the case, put the brakes on. And that means you need to deal with something before you go in, put unnecessary expectation on that particular partner that you're now in a relationship with.
100%. And you have to ask yourself the question, like, am I aware of my baggage? Because I think people just roll into relationships. You actually get into relationships whenever you want. You know, people get into relationships when they're, you know, heartbroken and stuff like that. That's fine. But at the end of the day, it's going to be harder in your relationship. You have to realize that when you go into that relationship, it's going to be a lot harder than it was for someone who's dealt with their baggage, who's aware of the baggage that they're bringing in, can communicate their baggage to their partner, you know, is very self-aware. That will be an easier relationship.
Because I think that if you're aware of your baggage, then you're able to communicate it. Because some of the problems in marriage is like, you're in a relationship and like, ooh, this crops up, and then it leads to a little bit of conflict. But if you're aware, you're able to say it from the jump.
100%. I think going in whole is the most important thing in a relationship.
Well, whatever, like whole. But it just basically means being aware of yourself, being content with yourself, not having an expectation of the person that you're going into a relationship with.
To complete you. And it's not saying that you don't have baggage or you're a perfect person. No way. We have loads of things, but I think we're both aware of what we're bringing and we're conscious that, okay, there's things that we need to deal with, but we're willingly going to do that.
Great, next question. Guys, we've got a lot of questions.
So let's try.
We're just going to try to speed through it.
This will be an hour-long video. What were your premarital conversations about sex like? Do you agree with couples delving into sex topics?
What?
Also, what are some good questions to ask surrounding sex expectations? Wow! Please know that please know that this couple is not just dating, but we're in a serious relationship. Lovely.
Fantastic.
We love the sex topic.
This person obviously must be new to Gabes and Nana, first of all, because look, when our unwritten rule is, if we know something is coming, we talk about it.
So we knew when we were dating that sex was going to come, so let's start talking about it. So we used to literally go on walks and we'd have sex walks. Where we didn't we're walking and having sex. No, we didn't have sex until we were married with each other. But we'd had sex before, so it's like, okay, this is baggage that we're going to bring into our marriage because we had sexual
So we wanted to understand the sexual history.
Yes, we wanted to understand our sexual history. We had questions about how often did you have sex, what positions did you have sex in, you know, what did you like about it, what didn't you like about it. I was asking all of those questions.
100%.
But if you haven't had sex, which is the best way to go into marriage.
So now we're talking about like the frequency,
what are your expectations of how often we should have sex? What things that you are willing to do, what are things that you're not willing to do. You know, these conversations need to happen, because the worst thing in marriage is expectations, having different
Are there any kind of fear? Because sometimes people have a distorted reality of sex, whether that becomes from a religious perspective, where the demon is in the bedroom. Like, no. Like, some people are scared away from sex so much, just so that they don't do it until they get married, that they have a distorted reality.
And people have been abused. Like, there's certain things. So you have to tread carefully, you know? So these conversations need to be had before you get married. And you can't go in blind. The earlier you have the conversations, the better. You know, you might even need to start watching videos and sermons.
Not porn, by the way.
Yeah, not porn.
But about educational stuff. And read books on sex.
Yeah, because you need to be aware. So I think, you know, if you're in a serious relationship and marriage is the aim, start having those conversations about sex.
100%. Because sex is there in marriage to be enjoyed by both parties.
100%.
So guys, when you get married, and for those of you who are married, enjoy.
Yes. Hey Gabes and Anna, what personal problems did you have to deal with first as individuals before you got married? Something like a habit or just anything else that you thought might not be good to enter marriage with, and how you had to deal with it?
You had a lot of issues.
Oh, well, you had a lot too. Anyway, mine was trust issues because I had just come out of a relationship with someone who was literally cheating on me the whole time.
Wow.
And I was just like, wow, Anna, that is my How did I let myself get into that situation?
You don't know your worth.
So I don't know, these questions, I was like, I don't know my worth. And obviously I was establishing my worth midway through that relationship, and then it ended because I found my worth. And then here he comes, Mr. Oh, you know, I should be next. And I'm just like, no, I do not want a relationship. But he had to prove himself. I think the reason we went through that 6-month period is because I had trust issues. I was like, why am I going to trust you? Why are you different to the last one? So these are issues that I did not want to take into a relationship. So we had a longer phase of us getting to know each other and me questioning him, and he had to just be able to handle that, and he had to prove his character over time because I had trust issues. So I think that was something I wasn't willing to go into another relationship with, hence why we went for a long
period. And myself, I had a sense of insecurity just about life. I was anxious about everything, and I think I just was in a quite abusive, not physically abusive, obviously what woman can, you know, take me on, but I mean like mentally abusive relationship where someone will be speaking so much negativity, bringing you down. So I had a lot of insecurity that I just had to deal with and try and overcome, and just kind of know myself and know my self-worth, rather than what people say against me. I need to know who I was for myself, and I was on that journey of like kind of discovering myself again.
100%. So we were going through all that in the phase where we got to know each other. So we had a lot of arguments in that phase, didn't we?
And I'm like, who are you? I'm like, no.
It was serious. Like, obviously, you were coming to my church more and stuff like that, and we were reading the word together more, but it was just like, it was a tough 6 months because we both had baggage that we had to deal with before we got into the relationship, 100%. And we were willing to do that. So Hey Gabes and Anna, so this is really not a direct question, but an advice I'm asking on. The guy I'm planning to marry is showing signs of being controlling, telling me that I should stop doing this and stop doing that. I don't mind when there's a valid reason, but it's going to the point where everything I do is wrong in his own eyes. Should I continue dating him, or should I see this as a red flag?
Well, you don't like to be controlled, do you?
No. And it's like, what is he confronting my negative character flaws? Because if he's confronting my negative character flaws, that is great. I need that to happen. Maybe there's a better way that he could be doing it, but I need to become better. Like, it's important for the person that I'm with to challenge my negative attributes. That's what I want. But if it's just like, oh, Anna, you're too loud.
It's that preference.
If it's a preference thing.
And it's trying to change who you are, that is definitely a red flag.
If you find that you're losing yourself and the things that make you an amazing person and that, you know, God created you to be, then that's a definite red flag. And it's something that you 100% have to confront him about and talk to him about. I'm not saying break up, I'm saying...
Well, we can't give that advice. We don't want to take any kind of ownership. But kids and others say, no.
And we don't know the details of the relationship that well, but it's something that you two definitely need to talk about, and it should be a very serious conversation. Like, I'm questioning our relationship because I find that I do not have the freedom to be who I'm meant to be.
That's gold. But I think you could also seek help. I think that there's marital counselling, but you don't need to wait till you're married to go through marital counselling. I think it's good to seek professional help along those things. If you're in a church, go to a pastor, have the conversation, because I think it's important to allow certain people to have a voice in your relationship, to be able to work things out. 100%. Because the thing is, some people do not know why they're doing what they're doing. A man can be controlling just because he's seen his father being controlling, and it's just a default position. He might not even be aware. So I think it's important to be able to bring external people into the relationship so that you can work through it together.
And does he have a willingness to please you? Do you know what I mean? Like, you telling him that, oh, I'm finding you very controlling.
If he's like, look, this is the way I am, that's more red flag.
But if he's saying, oh my gosh, okay, right, I didn't realise that I was that controlling. Why is it coming across as controlling to you? Let's talk about it. Because we have those conversations all the time. Like, listen, G.
Like, I'm a man.
He is controlling.
I have controlling tendencies.
He's controlling.
Tendencies.
But he has that willingness to be like, okay, why is it controlling to you? What is it about it? Is it the tone of voice? Is it this? Is it that? And we'll navigate through. I think the willingness is very important, to humble yourself and just be like, okay, if it's coming across that way from your point of view, what can we do about it?
And this is something that we need to deal with.
Tackle, not you yourself, not you need to change, we. So there's loads of things that you should consider, and hopefully we gave you some food for thought. Next question. So, what kind of activities did you guys do to get to know each other while you were dating? They're looking for date recommendations, essentially. Ooh, good. We did fun stuff, didn't we?
Yeah, we did some fun stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know, the generic bowling, golf.
Yeah, because we were trying to be outside of the house most of the time. So we were just like day trips. We went to Brighton for a day trip. Yeah. We went to Amsterdam where we took a coach in the night.
On a Friday evening after work. Yeah. And then it arrived Saturday. It was a 12-hour coach. Yeah. It arrived Saturday morning. Yeah. We spent the whole day. Yeah. And then we took the coach and then we arrived back Sunday morning. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. So we spent one whole day in Amsterdam. Yeah. And as you can see, guys, we avoided hotels.
Yes. We avoided anything that involved, you know, accommodation, bedrooms, alone time, or whatever. Yeah. So we'd go for walks. What else did we do? I don't know.
Look, we love to eat. So we sampled loads of different restaurants.
Different restaurants all the time.
Yeah. But all these dating things should not be a distraction from the main agenda of the dating phase, which is to get to know each other. 100%. Have fun, which is so important, and we love to have fun with each other. Not sexually, but we love to have fun with each other. We're not in the dating phase, but now. But I think it's important just to get to know each other and be able to be vulnerable.
We had picnics, didn't we?
Yeah, we had picnics. In the summer. And in those picnics we spoke a lot.
Yes, a lot. We'd like just be asking each other questions. Yeah.
We played games.
We played games. Yeah, just something that will facilitate conversation, environments that will facilitate us to be able to talk. Yeah. And we did a lot of that. So date night ideas, what else?
Just keep talking.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
Keep talking.
Be more vulnerable.
Be more vulnerable. Ask a lot of questions.
Be more vulnerable.
We used to go on walks. Like if there was somewhere where you could take a train, you could take a bus. We'd take the bus all the way there. Do you remember? We like things that we'd never done together. Like we'd go to Oxford Street and just walk along the shops. Yeah. We'd go to Hyde Park
and walk around the park.
We did, just loads of that kind of stuff.
Any and everything just so that we can talk.
Yeah, 100%.
Basically.
Hope that helps. How would you make the most out of being single? Anything you guys would recommend to make the most out of your single season?
What do you want to do?
Yeah, all the things that you want to do it without having a second opinion.
Yeah.
That's my best advice. Like travel, you know, go to the places.
What are your heart desires? It goes back to knowing yourself again.
Volunteer for charities. Know yourself. Those are the things that I would say
and
personally.
Just do it.
How did you learn to keep putting God before your partner? Did you learn before you got married or while you got married? As it is so easy to get dependent on someone to satisfy you. That is very true. It's very easy. Yeah.
And I think for us, like
you're always learning.
We're always learning, but we went through some difficult patches, not difficult, but it's like moments of frustration when we realized that we're putting too much expectation on each other. So then we realized that our attention needs to be on God. So it's through the difficult moments that we'll be able to realize that we can't fulfill our every need within this relationship. We need to depend on God more, and then that's when the desire came in to want to actually spend more time with God. Yeah,
100%. I think it's just, you just go through seasons. Like it's so easy to depend on someone that's physically there. Yeah. Like you naturally want to draw towards that person because you're getting immediate answers sometimes. It's easier as well because it's just a conversation. But obviously when you want to hear from God, it's like you're getting into the word and you're seeking him and all of this stuff. So you do have a natural tendency to go for the physical being, but we have to check ourselves, and we do challenge each other because he knows when I've not been spending enough time with God. 100%. I know when he's not been spending enough time with God because we don't get a good version of...
When was the last time you spent time with God? Come on.
Today? Well, yeah, because you know, you start seeing that the burden is becoming heavier on you. Like the person has more expectations of you, you know, is becoming very heavy in the relationship, and I think you have the expectation for your partner to just carry that all the time instead of casting your cares onto God. So for us, it is hard, it's a balancing act, but we learned it before we got together because we both had individual relationships with God. 100%. We're also learning in marriage because the other person will tell us, you're depending on me a bit too much in this situation. Have you prayed about it? Have you this? So we both challenge each other all the time, and I don't think we'll ever master it, but we'll constantly keep each other accountable.
But I do think like this whole God and relationship is all kind of intertwined and interwoven or whatever. God is just interwoven in every area rather than just like, oh yeah, like good point by the way, just God and then nothing else. It's more like, okay, God is in all this, so before work we're praying, before we go into meetings we're like, God, we need you. Like we just need to constantly have this dependency on God, because your partner might not be the problem, it might actually be you. You're thinking that you can do everything in your own strength, but we need to just make sure that we're casting our care onto God.
100%. I've been celibate and single for about 3 years now. And throughout this time, I'm getting approached by the wrong guys who are interested in sex and not willing to wait. How do I keep from falling into temptation of getting into a relationship for all of the wrong reasons?
Like, it's a huge red flag. If you say to somebody, I am celibate, and they continue to pursue you in sex, I think that is a huge red flag because they actually don't respect you.
I would end that straight away. Like, sorry, if you don't have the same conviction that I do, there's literally no purpose of this relationship. So that would easily stop you from getting into temptation, because as soon as you see that first sign that they don't have the same intentions, even if they say it to you before, like, actually I'm not sure, but I might give it a go for you, that's a red flag. Before you even get to the bedroom, before they even start pursuing those acts, red flag it and cut them off, because you need someone who has the same conviction and is like, right, we're gonna try this together. And I know the temptation is so real to want to be loved, to want to be with someone, to want someone to be affectionate towards you, but it will come in due course. It's just a delayed gratification. It's not immediate. No,
Come on.
It's not immediate, and it's so hard. Seriously, because I know myself, if I'm in a bedroom with someone, it's going down. Do you know what I mean? Not it's going down, but
with me,
but I mean, like, before even you, it's just like, I know myself, I'm weak. You can't think
we're all weak.
We're all weak.
Okay. So, as much as we can think we can muster up the strength to be in the situation, and be like, oh, it's not gonna happen. Like, let's not lie to ourselves. Let's not pretend. Let's all know that we're weak and actually just put physical boundaries so that we don't have it. If someone is talking at you in a certain way sexually and you're not on it, cut it off. Keep moving.
Because I needed someone in this relationship who was as convicted as me, because 2 is better than 1 in this situation. If we both have the conviction, we can hold each other accountable. Be like, okay, we're not having sex. No. But if it's just me, then we will, like, sometimes we will fall. Because the person who is trying to pull you down, it's easier to pull someone down than it is to lift someone up. So anyway, I don't know. I'm just saying that basically, what is the question?
What is the question?
The question was, how do I keep falling from temptation? Falling into the temptation of getting into a relationship for the wrong reasons. I think you have to know your why. That has to hold you, and then you have to realize that yes, a lot of guys are not waiting until marriage, but there are guys who are, and you have to keep that at the forefront of your mind. I used to watch a lot of sermons. I didn't see anyone in my peripheral, in my circle, but you know, online, I was like, yeah, they did it, so I'm gonna believe for it. You know, just so my Instagram feed was surrounded by people who I knew waited, so it was like inspiring, and made me set my standards a lot higher. But if you're just desperate to get into a relationship and you think that anyone will do, then you will just get with anyone.
And you will compromise.
You will compromise, 100%. Hey Gabes and Anna, how do you be true to yourself around someone when getting to know them? It can be difficult knowing how much of yourself you should display when you first meet someone, as you may not be certain of their intentions and motives. That is a very good question. It's true. How much of yourself do you give? Obviously, you're not putting out your...
When you say give, is that giving of yourself, like, emotionally? Is that giving of yourself in terms of who I am?
Who I am.
Who I am. Well, who I am should just be
who I am. Yeah.
And I don't see why you hold back on the who you are.
It's like me not showing my full personality because I would be who I am.
Yeah, I'd say true to who I am.
Yeah, say true. When if you're talking about like history and like, oh, you know, this happened when I was young, this is my family dynamics, those things that can come in time as you begin to trust that person. But in terms of being yourself, 100%. I want to know now if you can handle me or not. You know, a lot of people would say that my personality is too much, you know what I mean, for a woman. Like, a lot of men would be like, you know, I need a quiet woman. And that's fine. That's good. I will show you my full personality first date. If the first date is a flop, it's a flop. At the end of the day, why am I going to be like, oh, hi, how are you? Like, that's not me. So then it's like, why do I want to get with someone where I feel like I have to be like that? So I think I'm comfortable enough to say, this is who I am personality-wise. You know, if the first date doesn't work out and that's not something that you like, so be it. I'm very okay with that. But when it comes to like, oh, this is how many people I've slept with, this is, you know, all the emotional, like, oh, this is what I'm dealing with, blah, blah, blah. I don't think I'd give that away too much in first date.
The journey of your relationship, in theory, you should be building trust as you go through it. Yeah. So as you're building trust, then you're able to be a bit more vulnerable. Yeah. Because the intention is to be more vulnerable because you want to build a level of intimacy, which is more like, oh, I know what you've been through and I still choose to love you anyway. So you just drip feed over a period of time and let the person get to know you for real. Yeah,
but I think you should be comfortable enough that on a first date you're able to be yourself, whether that be, you know, introverted, extroverted, whatever. You can talk about your career and what you're doing and what your dreams and goals are. I think it's okay to talk about the future.
Yeah.
But
of yourself.
And like, this is, you know, who I am, this is what my dreams and desires are. I love traveling, I love doing these things, and those kind of things, that's fine. And try to be yourself as much as possible and understand, seek to understand them as well. Yeah. But then as trust is built, then you start talking about the challenges and your baggage and whatever. But yeah, I hope that helps.
That makes sense.
Yes.
But why did you start talking like that? Anyway, next question.
How overrated is marriage, Gabby and Anna? Gabby, you know, that's what his family calls him. Love you guys. Yeah, how overrated is marriage?
Marriage is a beautiful season. Yes. It's definitely not overrated. The whole point of the series was just to say that marriage is not the end and be all. You see, the thing is, there's a I don't know.
It's overrated in some ways.
In what way? What way would you say it's overrated? No, I'm waiting.
In the sense that society and the media portrays marriage to be, it's not that. Can we accept that?
Okay, what does that mean?
In the sense that it's all like, you know, lovey-dovey all the time. Yeah. That is all like, the sex is just very exotic all the time.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm loving it, but it's not, you know, what they show in
in the movies,
like all the time. Yeah, you have moments of that, but it's not that. That's not the definition of intimacy. It doesn't emphasize the importance of communication in the media. It doesn't. I think there's a lot of ways that it's overrated.
Yeah, definitely. Like,
it's not as glamorous.
Yes.
As the media makes it out to be.
It has its challenges.
Yeah.
But we have to be in a position where we are going with our eyes wide open to marriage, and that's the point of the whole series, for people to go into their eyes wide open. I think where the overrating comes in is when we have too much expectation on the season,
that's the thing.
And it doesn't align up to reality.
Yeah. So that can break you as much as, you know, a lot of people are divorcing because the expectations were completely different. And it's like, it's important to have real expectations of what it is. I don't think the media portrays it for what it should be.
So that's what makes it overrated.
But it's amazing. It's more amazing than it could ever be, but not in the way that you thought it would happen.
So if you're aware of what you're getting into and you're able to have certain conversations, it could far exceed your imagination also.
100%. Next question. Can only one partner in a relationship be toxic? Can only one person in a relationship be toxic? Yeah, one person in a relationship can be toxic.
What do you mean?
You can have two toxic people, but you can have one toxic person in a relationship, can't you?
Yeah. What does that mean? What does that look like?
No, they're asking like, because sometimes you, as the person, you are not toxic, but the other person is toxic in a relationship.
Yes.
Yeah, that can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the question.
Go on, answer the question. So just yes. Are you gonna elaborate? Are you gonna add some vim?
Can only one person in a relationship be toxic? Yes. there's some good people who are not toxic, who have decided, yeah, I'm going to work on myself before I get into this relationship. Yeah, I don't have that much baggage, or I'm going in open and I want to serve my spouse, you know, all of these things, and they get with someone completely opposite. That can happen, and the other person can be toxic, and you should break up from that person, right?
Just break up.
Yeah.
Can one person
before marriage, not
toxic? Okay, can we define toxic?
Oh yeah.
Because I think, like, to me, someone who's toxic is someone who hasn't got a willingness to want to better their relationship, but they are just prioritizing themselves. Because the thing is, one person can say that you're toxic, but then the way that the other person who is the non-toxic person, the way that they bring themselves is toxic as well. So you can have someone who is the instigator, but then the person who's non-toxic, do they go into the situation as well? Like, does that make sense? Because if you're non-toxic, that means you don't cause any problem in the relationship. But
I don't even like that line toxic, really.
But that's what the person has used. That's what we're going with, right?
Yeah, I don't like calling people toxic.
But there are some toxic people out there. Yeah. But at the end of the day, do you compromise on your stance and your stand and how you approach the situation? Because yes, people could bring the worst out of you, but should you? Let them. And I think that's something worth considering. Because it's easy to say someone is toxic, but how you handle the situation. Toxic is, to me, someone who is just intentionally trying to destroy the relationship. And if that's the case, you shouldn't be there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's it.
But if you're married, that's a completely different situation.
Then you need serious help.
Yeah, counselling, like, guys, it's not a joke.
You need to bring out your wallet if you want this to work.
Yeah. Pay for a very expensive counsellor and do the thing.
Yeah.
And work your way through it. But if you're dating, which is this video is about, like, mate, red flag, off you go. You can get out of that, because at the end of the day, if someone doesn't have the willingness to learn, to grow, and they're toxic, and you know they're not bringing out the best in you, it's time to call it a day. Like, not everyone is for you at the end of the day. There's a spectrum. There's not obviously the one, but I believe there's a spectrum. Yeah. And there's some people who are very highly unlikely to be for you. Or the worst type of person.
Their baggage is too much for you to contain.
And for you to handle, and that you should have to handle as an individual. That's something to take to God and deal with them and God. It's not fair for them to bring someone else into that. And then,
so you need to understand where on the spectrum of
toxic they are
that you're able to handle.
Yeah, very true. Okay, so there's a guy who's interested in you, but he shows it by speaking indirectly. I know he's referencing me, but he hasn't said anything about me being his girlfriend and committing. So what do I do? Should I continue to pretend that he's not referring to me because he's saying that he wants what God wants?
Jeez.
Or do I confront him? Yeah, I know. What the heck? And it says here, like, I know he's referring to me. How do you know? Unless he said it. Because a lot of girls will say, I know he's referring to me, I know he's talking about me, you know, this stuff. You don't 100% know until he says it. So let's just clear that one up.
Okay.
But
if you are sure, you need to back him in a corner, not physically, because I know some girls are moving a bit aggressive, but back him in a corner with the type of questions that you ask, where it would challenge him to be able to confess what he's actually trying to say. Now, what kind of questions would you ask?
I don't know. I'm just an extreme case. I'll just be like, so what? Are you talking about me?
See, that's very direct. But it's like when people are like, when people are saying, like, for example, oh, I want what the Lord wants for me. Okay, now you can ask them, what do you want for yourself? Like, what do you want for yourself? And then they might say, well, I want a woman, blah, blah. Now, do you see any woman who lines up with what you said? Yes. Okay. Yes, I do. Who is that woman?
Yeah.
Oh, is it me? Oh. Now we're going somewhere.
Yes.
Like,
you're a salesman now.
Yeah, hey. I'm learning. I'm learning.
No, 100%.
It's asking questions.
Yeah. You can't just... When they make statements, there's about 10 different directions that could mean.
So you need to know what direction.
What are they talking about in terms of what direction could that go in? Don't make assumptions that, oh, they might necessarily mean that, oh, I'm that person. No, it could mean an array of different things. You need to ask leading questions.
Just help him. He just might want you to ask him out. Ask him out. I'm joking.
Never. What can I do to ensure trust on both sides of the relationship?
Ooh.
That is a very good question.
On both
how can
sides.
I do to ensure? I think consistency is such a good way.
You like that word now, yeah?
Yeah, you show me things. Consistency in character.
Yeah.
And in...
But before the inconsistency kicks in,
yeah,
it's more like, do I do what I say I'm going to do?
Being a person of your word.
Exactly, being a person of my word. Do I have any reason to doubt you as a person? And then are you consistent in all those things?
Yeah, yeah. I think at the beginning, if their trust has been broken, you need to overcompensate to show that you're trustworthy.
Yeah.
So if, for example, you've cheated or done something that with a different party, or you've fallen for temptation, you need to prove to your partner that I'm a trustworthy person. So maybe your phone needs to be tracked to begin with.
Yeah.
Like maybe you need to be, you know, on the phone to your partner more than a normal person. Maybe you need to overcompensate with words and stuff like that. Like you have to prove through the actions that you are worthy to be trusted again.
There also are some people who are a bit crazy.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest about the craziness.
Yeah.
And they need help in the sense that the person has given you no reason or doubt to to doubt them, so to speak.
But yet you still want
then you want proof of everything.
Yeah.
Like no, like at the end of the day, I've shown to you I'm a man with integrity. You need to be able to sort things out within yourself and not come in and expecting me to justify everything I'm doing, because I've given you no reason to. It's been 10 years, yet you're still crazy.
100%.
Sort your life out.
Yeah, 100%. So there's times where you need to put it back on that person and just be like, listen, this is what I've done, this is how I've shown you. But I always see the other example where it's like, I don't need to show you, I don't need to, you know, you don't need to track me, or I don't need to be calling you, you know, every day or whatever. But you do, because the trust has been broken. So I think it's through your consistency and your actions.
But to answer the question, it just have an open dialogue. Be like, Annabella can take my phone at any time and look through it. I don't care. She can look through my bank statements. I don't care. Like, I think we have a very open relationship. We don't check each other on certain things. But if Annabella did want to pick up my phone and look through it, like, that's fine. Like, I don't care. So, and we are consistent in the way that we live our life.
Okay, did you and Anna have premarital counselling? If so, how useful was it?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I don't... Definitely.
We had premarital counselling.
We
went to
everything.
So if you're from the UK, we went to HTB premarital counselling.
Yeah, we'll link it below.
We'll link it below.
Fantastic.
It was great.
8-week course or whatever.
It was 5 weeks for the premarital, and we just finished actually doing the marriage counselling element, which was 8 weeks long, and it was great, because I think in everything that you go through, you just need to just be aware of what you're getting yourself through. So I think the premarital course just helped us become aware.
For us, we're not ashamed to say that we go through problems. Like, we're not ashamed to say that we
don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. That we need advice. That we're trying to do a new thing. That we're trying to break some generational stuff. That we're trying to make sure this marriage lasts a lifetime. And for that to happen, we need to be intentional. We're not ashamed to say those things. Like, if we could afford a therapist, I think I would get one. Like, in due course, I'll have a full-time therapist who I see once a week or something to talk through what I'm dealing with. Because life is hard. Life has challenges. And if you're trying to do things God's way as well, that's completely different to the way the world is doing things. It's countercultural. So you're going against the tide. So it's not going to be natural. It's not easy to go against the tide. It takes work, and sometimes you don't want to do that work. So it's like, okay, what can we have around us to help this institution that is Gabes and Anna?
What team or network or support group can you put around yourself to make sure that you strive and achieve and conquer in this life? You have one life. And in this one life, you have to make sure that you put on the full armor to be able to go and attack. And that needs, you know, so you...
It's so prideful to say that I can do this by myself.
Because the biggest hindrance is your mindset. And I think if we sort out our mindset, we'll be able to go so much further. So I think like in the next like couple of years, we'll get a full-time counsellor where we'll sit down with once a month and be able to just talk through more. Because I think we're constantly always trying to get to the depths of who we are and why we do certain things. And sometimes you just have to have those conversations.
100%. And it's like, It's not something to be ashamed of. Premarital counselling, go to it and do it with your head held high. Say like, I really value my marriage. It's like, you're not going to be let on the road to drive a car if you haven't got your license, because they don't trust that you know how to drive. But marriage is one of those
with
things,
your whole life.
Yeah.
Marriage can literally change you so much. So you need to know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, it's like there's no warning. It's like, oh, the love is just going to sustain you. No way. You need practical tools. You need the word. You need a lot of things to be able to navigate what this is, that is marriage. It's not 50% divorce rate.
Like, just for banter.
Just for banter. Like, people are divorcing out here.
For
and there's obviously a reason. For small things. Just differences, just growing apart and stuff like that. Like, those are real situations. Yeah. So, we need to have our armour on and know, okay, right, how do we make this last forever?
Yeah. Well, on this thing.
Mate, we ain't messing around out here. What are your thoughts on chivalry?
Chivalry. Yeah. Like, I think it's a dying thing, but I think that we have to look at why it's dying. I think there's been a period of time where we've had all this feminist movement, but I think like, if in today's world, if a man opens a door for a woman, the thing is like, woman will be like, oh, I can open my own door. So I think that men don't want to be offensive to women, so they technically don't do things that are, you know, seem to be making them a gentleman.
Yeah. And I think a lot of men maybe don't know how to do it because they haven't seen the example from when they were young and stuff. So like, I think it's something that women do want. And I think at the beginning, I didn't understand it either, did I? I was like, I'm a strong woman, you know, but
in our household, chivalry still exists.
Yeah, 100%.
So I still open
that blew my mind when you did it.
Now, okay, when we first started dating, Anna used to open the door herself, and she used to try. It used to be like a little tension. I'm trying to open the door. She's like, no, I can get my own door. Now, she will walk to a door and stand there like it's automatic. And I'll be like, oh, sorry, I forgot to open the door. Boom. I walk on the outside of the street. Yeah. I've just been taught like a man walks on the outside of the street.
That's part of the reason why I fell for this guy. Like, I was like, what is this? Is he from a different planet? Like, carrying all the bags, like at the airport, I don't have to carry anything.
Yeah, some man actually cussed me out on YouTube, on this platform, which I'm trying to help people. But he actually cussed me out. Or did he try and cuss my wife out? Because if that was the case, it's a problem. Either way, he was saying, why can't Anna carry her own bag? Yeah. If I'm there and I put it on the trolley, why does she have to carry her own bag? I believe that I'm just there to serve my wife. Yeah. Like, she's my queen and I'm there to just serve her.
And it says that we're the weaker vessel, do you know what I mean? And that's obviously in stature. And in, like, he's protecting me. If I'm the weaker vessel, he covers me. So he covers me and my skinny arms through carrying all the bags. He covers me, like, from people who are trying to attack me. He covers me in different areas. And we are very traditional, aren't we?
Yeah, we're actually quite traditional.
Especially because the word says certain things, so we want to live that out. So it's like, he's become a better man and leader through chivalry.
Yes.
Haven't you?
100%.
Yeah. So it's like, it's things that I think men want to look after their queens and stuff like that. And I need
the woman would not let him.
I need to allow him as well. As a strong, independent woman or whatever I used to call myself. Like, I need to humble myself and just allow him to be what he's called to be. 100%. So I do that. And that's not only in, you know, the chivalry, but also in the conversation. And like, sometimes I don't need to question him every single time he wants to make a decision. I need to learn to quieten myself sometimes. So it's like, it's both ways, but I think chivalry is so important.
So important.
And, you know, it just makes your woman feel like, damn, I'm a queen in my man's eyes. He doesn't do that for everyone, but he does. I don't
do it for, only my mothers, my sisters.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to be able to be, I want to struggle a little bit when you're not around. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want it to be a case of, ooh, I miss Gabes. I need him because we are one. Yeah. And sometimes if I'm going to Tesco shopping and I'm carrying a bag and it's like, and I'm like, Gabes, I really missed you today. Like, because it was hard. Like, I felt the impact of you not being there. I don't want to be that. I want to be just like, oh, you know, I can survive on my own.
So what's the point of being in a relationship?
Anyway,
I don't know. For us, we're quite traditional.
Yeah. I would like to marry one day. I'd like to intentionally date. The problem is I don't meet enough men, and when I finally do, they're taken, either married with kids. I don't really know what to do. I'm not used to this dating thing. I've never really dated someone. I'm desperate. Any advice?
Ooh! Desperate?
Desperate? No, that line, that word. Oh my gosh, it frustrates me so much because no good decisions are made when you're desperate. Yeah. at all.
You compromise, you settle. See, I don't know whether this is a stupid example, but I think sometimes when you're looking for something so intently, you never find it. For example, when you're looking for your keys, you don't find it. But as soon as you start doing something else, and you're just cooking, or you just find your keys. I think sometimes when we're so like fixated in trying to find a life partner, you don't find them. And like, I think in our journey, like we wasn't looking into each other, we wasn't looking for each other, but we found each other just doing the things that we were supposed to be doing. And at that point in time, we were at university, so I was focused on my books, Anna was focused on clubbing, and then we happened to meet each other.
I wasn't focused on clubbing.
But I got your 2-1 though, didn't I?
Okay, so I had my 2-1 secured, locked into.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
But I brought you down to 2-1 as well.
Yeah, you brought me down to 2-1, yeah. Anyway. But I was distracted. But anyway, like I think it's important just to know what you are assigned to in this season and pursue it with everything and focus, and the person to come along the way. It's not a scientific thing. We can't give you a 5-step plan to secure your babe. All we can say is just be content in the season that you're in and be hopeful that your spouse will come.
And there is such thing as like people's standards being too high as well. So like if you're only meeting married men and that is your standard, it's hard to have your standard as married men because they have been refined through marriage, haven't they? And become a better version. Like at the beginning, would people have wanted you or wanted me? Like maybe not, but now you're seeing this well-matured, well-refined person, and it's like, are you willing to take someone who is not as, you know,
all together.
Like, are you willing to take someone who's a bit rough around the edges? Like, that's okay, as long as they have the willingness to be able to make it work. Marriage is a beautiful institution for growth, I think, if there's two willing people in the relationship. That's gotta be a tweet.
Marriage is a beautiful institution for growth.
It's 100% is, and it's just like some people don't want that. You want the perfect guy, you want the perfect image, and maybe that looks like the married men, but you don't know the process and journey that they've been on and they've been through because of.
My wife got that wisdom.
But yeah, so maybe look at your standards as well.
Got that wisdom.
And yeah, he didn't have a beard when we met, but he's got a beard now. Now people want people with beards. But what if you have to be with them for 5 years to grow the beard?
That beard will soon connect.
Yeah.
Anyway, next question.
My question is regarding y'all's, she's American.
Y'all, we've been learning y'all in Texas.
Y'all's dating season. Anna often says when she met you, you weren't saved.
She tries to claim my salvation basically, but it's Jesus.
She jokes that you only became saved because of her. So I'd like to hear from both of your perspectives. Gabes, were you saved before you met Anna, or did you choose to follow Jesus because of her? Anna,
hell no.
If you didn't believe Gabes was saved, would you say you were in a relationship with an unbeliever? Did you flirt to convert?
Cheers.
Firstly, I definitely didn't get in a relationship with him until I knew he was secure in his relationship with God.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
That's right.
There was no chance whatsoever. So I didn't flirt to convert, no chance. That would be my worst nightmare. Imagine me flirting, shaking to come to Christ. No, I knew the kind of guy that I wanted. Like I wanted a guy that was on fire for God, for himself. Like there was no way that I was, have this thought in my head like, oh, is he just with God? No, I wanted God more than I wanted marriage. So for me to get with Gabes and not be sure that he wanted God would just. Imagine being, that scares me. That scared me. So I was definitely not flirting to convert. But I did, at the early stages, have questions about whether he was following God for me. But over time, before we got into a relationship, in our friendship, I realized that he was actually pursuing God for himself.
Yes.
Gabes, did you get saved after you got together? How did you know that it was genuine and not just for me?
So it was before.
It was before.
It was before.
Yeah.
And it was genuine because I wasn't just talking about God to Anna. It was something I was talking about with my friends, with my mum, doing things on my own in terms of I think, so like even before I go to bed, it's like Trace Mayer was literally the beginning of everything.
He used to print our scriptures when we were friends and just be like, let's read it and stuff like it was just really inspiring. And you're like, something's changed.
Basically, like I said, I was just reading up on things when Anna wasn't there, and I actually wanted to know more.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It wasn't just when you were in my presence or anything like that. No. So I guess it took time. Maybe that's why our journey at the beginning was much longer, because there was a lot of factors that we're trying to navigate. Like we're both challenging each other, like, because we both said, I said the next person I date is going to be my husband, like, so I am going into the market looking.
I'm getting tired, you know. Finish the sentence. I want to finish the sentence.
If I was going somewhere.
I'm sorry, go.
Is this video going to be the longest thing ever or not? Hope you guys have enjoyed it and it's actually, you know, helpful.
I'm tired.
Anyways, what I was saying is that basically we qualified hard. We both had a standard of what we wanted in our spouse. I wanted someone who loved God for himself and was going to challenge me to be a better follower of Christ. Gabes showed me that he was that person over time. Even though I believed that my man would come being already in a position, you know, had been saved for a few years.
She wanted him to come in chariots and horses.
God showed me that, no, this person is far better than what you could have brought for yourself.
Amen.
So I just had to get over that, of my idea of how the person would look, and look at the heart of the person. And Gabe's heart was pursuing God. So that was that. He obviously wants the girl that was, you know, not gonna. What did you want?
What did you, girl? Hey, I'm tired.
Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. We hope that we answered your questions. I don't even know if we got through all of them, but guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in our next series. Peace and love.